Okay, everyone, welcome. My name is Tamara Luetta, and I am the Workforce Development Coordinator at the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity. And thank you so much for being here today. I'm really excited to share these wonderful presenters with you. So just some housekeeping so you know, the session is being recorded. So just for reference, if you could please remain on mute. The presenters are going to be presenting for about 15 minutes, and then we'll have some time after that for questions. So I will ask if you do have questions to put them in the chat, and we'll address them at the end of their presentation. But let's go ahead and get started. We have three really awesome presenters for you today from our partners at Workforce Solutions, Dress for Success Houston, and Career Gear Houston. And so we are going to start with our Workforce Solutions presenter. So William Eason is the regional facilitator for Workforce Solutions, Houston-Galveston region. He directs the community-based job search seminars and workshops to help citizens find jobs, keep a job, or get a better job. He facilitates discussion among members of a group in a professional and interesting manner to achieve the objectives of the different seminars and presentations, and has helped many people become successful at creating resumes and acing interviews. And in 2020, he received the Best Customer Service Award for helping many young adults gain internships within the city of Houston. So welcome, William.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tamara. You make me sound so good. I don't know if all of that is true, but no, I thank you for having me on here, and thank you all for joining today. And I just wanted to just let you guys know a little bit more about myself. I've been with Workforce Solutions for about 6 years now. I've served as a regional facilitator for about 10 months now. So that's where I can come out into the community and teach you guys how to upgrade your careers by working on resumes and working on other skills that you may need to take your careers to the next level. And so what I wanted to do today is just give you a good foundation of what a good resume is supposed to look like. You can come into chat and just let me know if you already have a resume. If you have already made a resume, just come into chat and say yes or no. I just kind of want to gauge the knowledge that's there and knowing how to make a resume. Okay, good. I see I have a resume. Okay, good. Great. Good, good, good. All right, perfect. All right, we got knowledgeable folks in here. That's good. And so, well, let's see if we can learn something new today about a resume that you may have not known, and then let's just kind of touch upon it. And we can move along, Tamara. All right, we can move along. We can move to the next slide. All right. So inside your resume, I always say you want to keep it at 2 pages minimum. Um, and if you don't have something to write with, go ahead and grab you something to write with, or just use your phone and just take down a few notes. I'll be giving some good gems away here today on how to perfect your resume. So what you want to do, you want to have 2 pages at the most. You don't want to have 3 or anything above that, because it only takes an employer or a recruiter 2 to 15 seconds to read your resume. So they don't take long. So your resume has to stand out. It has to make an impact statement. It has to tell me who you are, what you know how to do, and how you're able to help me as a business. Okay. So 2 to 15 seconds it takes for them to read it. So it has to be what does it take for them to read that, even pick up your resume and start reading it? One, it has to be neat, has to be organized, it has to be uniform. So starting at the top there, as you can see, first and last name, that should be the biggest thing on your resume is your name. If your name is small, I can't see it, right? I don't know. Yeah, you don't know me, I don't know you. So if you don't know me, I may have trouble with my eyes and I can't even see your name. So your biggest thing on there needs to be your name. Let's move down a little bit. All right, to address. Let me ask this. Should I or should I not put my address in my resume? Just come in the chat, give me a yes, no, and why. No, okay, good. DR says no. Why? Why not? Why shouldn't I put my address on my resume? Yes, good. Bias and invasion. Perfect. Yes, good. Yeah, if I see that you live 45 to 50 minutes away from me and the last person that left the job, was late and they live 45, 50 minutes away from me, how do you know that I'm not going to automatically X you out of the box? So you have to look at that in that sense. Yes, just put the Houston, Texas in the zip code or whatever. You don't have to put, your full address. Just state that you live in Houston, Texas, wherever you live. So sometimes it comes in an advantage, a lot of times it doesn't. If you see that you are close to the business, go ahead and put your address. You see that your address is good, yeah, go ahead and place that thing right there. Let them know, listen, I'm only 10 minutes away from you. That gives me more of uh, a clearer picture of how I can place you because I know you will be on time, hopefully. So uh, never put your address if you're far, okay? All right, so of course you guys know email address, professional email, your phone number there. If you have a LinkedIn account, you can associate that. Okay. Um, the resume needs wheels, so I need to know what you wanting to do. So you guys see there, certified public accountant. I know it's kind of small, but just work with me. You need a title. If you don't have a title, I don't know what you want to do. So you have to have a title. Yeah, that's your wheels of the resume. Okay, then just a small thing of what you do under your title. Okay, it doesn't have to be big. Just give me one or two sentences what you know how to do and how it can benefit me. Okay, and then so you just kind of want to label it just like it is: your areas of expertise, your career history, your education, um, bullet points. I don't need 10 bullet points. I just need 4 or 5 good things that you did at that job. I don't need, a lot of time there. Just a few good things will let me know, what you're doing there. Remember, it only takes 2 to 15 seconds to read a resume, so I don't need 10 bullet points on what you did. Just give me your top 4, top 5, and then we move on, okay? Education. We definitely put your education on there, but you don't have to put the year on there. Why do I not have to put? Why if I got a high school diploma in 1975, why does that look bad? And I put 1975 on there. Somebody come into chat real quick. Yes, good. Age, yes. If I put 1975 on there, yeah, I may be a biased person when I'm reading your resume. I'm gonna say, oh, they don't know any of this stuff. They graduated in 1975. That may not be true, but like I said, I don't know you, you don't know me. So if you got the degree or you got the diploma, go ahead and put that, but leave your year off. You don't need to tell me when you graduated, or if you just graduated, I may say, oh, you're too young. I don't know. You don't want to X yourself out of the box that quick. Does that make sense, you guys? We can move on tomorrow. All right, so let's speak about less is more. When I say less is more, that's what we're talking about today. It takes 2 to 15 seconds to read a resume. So let's look at the statement. Let's look at 2 different statements on less is more. Moving along. All right. So duties included me emptying trash cans, dusting, vacuuming floors, cleaning bathrooms, changing bed linens, and replacing used items such as towels, soaps, complimentary coffee, and mini bar items. If this is a duty on the resume, what do you guys believe I do? This is a duty on a resume, okay? So what position do you guys believe I hold? Come on, come into chat. I'm dealing with a smart class. You guys been answering. Good, janitor. Okay, good. I could be a janitor. Great. How about a housekeeper? Office coordinator? So. You know, that may be under the other duties as assigned as an office coordinator. But housekeeping, right? But let's read it again. Duties included me emptying trash cans, dusting, vacuuming floors, cleaning bathrooms, changing bed linens. Good. Housekeeper for a hotel, yes. And replacing used items such as towels, soaps, complimentary coffee, and mini bar items. Now, how many seconds did I tell you guys it takes to read a resume? 2 to 15 seconds, right? That took alone about 10 seconds right there. That one duty. How can we make this easier? How can we simplify this? Let's read the after statement. Cleaned and replenished up to 16 rooms daily for a high-end hotel chain. That sounds like a breath of fresh air, right? So what changed? What changed in this whole thing? Let's look at it. First, whenever you're writing your duties on your resume, you want to start with action verbs. Action verbs, cleaned, okay, replenished, made. You know, you want to start with action verbs whenever you're writing your resume duties. Under your job titles, you want to start with action verbs. Up to 16 rooms daily. So I'm dealing with a smart class, so let me ask this question. Why is it important that I know that this person can clean up to 16 rooms daily? Why is that number important to me? Versus if I didn't know how many rooms you can clean, but I know good KPI, yes, good. So if James can clean 10 rooms, John can clean 12 rooms, and Tracy can clean 16 rooms, guess what? I'm going to be impressed now because I'm already figuring you into my business. I'm saying, oh, she can clean up to 16 rooms daily. Okay, great. You know, I know the other two can clean right up under that. So that looks impressive to me. You always want to add numbers in your resume. If you're not adding numbers in your resume, I don't know what you can do as far as productivity as a manager. Okay. So add numbers in your resume. I need to see some numbers somewhere. Good. Quantify tasks that relates to the employer's operations. Very good. That's exactly what you want to do. Because if not, then you're already, I'm guessing, you know, so every business has numbers. You just have to know them. You just have to ask your manager. You have to you ask yourself, how many phone calls did I answer today? How many people did I help today? Add those in your resume, okay? So yeah, and then we're moving on. So now you want to choose a font style that is clean and conservative. You want to be consistent with the format style. So use one font, you guys, one font throughout the whole resume, okay? Font size, I usually use 12-point font. That's good right there. You always want to double check, so avoid the spelling and the grammar errors, okay? And then keep the length one page, no more than two, okay? So always check your resume. We can move along. Okay, when you're doing your resumes, start with your bullet points. If I don't see bullet points, it just starts to run together. You got to make it easy on me to read. Okay, like I said, start with those action verbs: reported, maintained, created, performed, advanced. Those make your resume sound that much better. You sound that much more professional, okay? Quantify the numbers. Give me some numbers there. Give me some numbers on how many people you served today, how many phone calls you made today. You know, if you achieved something, give me those achievements, okay? I need to see those. Avoid personal pronouns on your resume. No I, me, my, or we, okay? And then you want to always use keywords from the job posting. Okay, because your resume is more than likely to go through a scanning system. So when you're reading that job posting, some of those words from the job posting need to be inside your resume. And you may ask, okay, what words will I add? Well, look at the preferred whenever you're reading the job posting. It may say preferred, must have. It may say job requirements, whatever it is. Just start incorporating some of those words inside your resume because the scanner is not going to pick up on your resume. It's not going to pick up your resume if you don't have any keywords from that posting. Okay. So just make sure you guys are doing that. Okay, final, the employer wants to know, what can you do for me? How can you improve operations? Can you make me money? Can you save me time? Keep my customers happy? I should be able to see all those things inside your resume, okay? I should be able to see some accomplishments, some achievements, some job duties that you had that may impress me. Some of those things, just at least 3 of those things I need to see, okay? That's what they're looking for. There's 2 different types of resumes. There's the chronological, which most of us use. That's you're listing your most recent job and then moving on down. Then you have a functional resume to where you can you're not listing the jobs from most recent on down, but you're listing your expertise, such as if you have expertise in administrative, finances, or so on. So it's not putting the emphasis on the dates that you worked at the places. You're putting a more emphasis on your expertise. Okay. So sometimes that may come in handy if you've done a job 10 years ago, but you still have that expertise. You can use a functional resume because you still have that expertise. Okay. So if you look on the right hand side, I know it's small, but work with me, guys. Okay. On the right hand side, there's the functional resume. Okay. If you see under that areas of expertise, you can see their areas of expertise there. So they were training and development, recruiting, and then marketing, and then their work history they put at the bottom. Okay. They put where they worked at and the dates. But it's so strategic because I'm looking at your areas of expertise first. Okay. So that's just like with anything, you know. Is Doritos gonna put all the ingredients that they have on the front of the bag? No, they're not going to put all of that on the front of the bag. Why? Because if we see all the ingredients that they put on the front of the bag, we're probably not going to buy it. Okay? But they put what they need to put on the front of the bag so that can capture our, imagination and we buy it. Same thing with a functional resume. Okay? If we had a lot of jobs, if we had 10 jobs, am I going to put all those 10 jobs in front? No, I'm not going to do that. That's going to make me look like a job hopper. No, I'll just put my areas of expertise and then I'll put my work history at the bottom in there and, in fine print. Okay. All right, we can move along. All right, who opinions matters the most? It's the hiring manager. So you guys don't take this to heart, don't, you know, have any personal feeling about it, but it's the hiring manager. So you have to play the game, okay? To be able to get your foot in the door. So you have to make your resume read like the position that you're applying for. That's why you should have more than one resume, okay? If you don't have more than one resume, then you need to start making different resumes because every position that you read, it has to read like that position, okay? You have to tailor it towards the job description. All right, next. All right, so just this is a survey. You can copy this link right here, the surveymonkey.com. Please let us know how we're doing. I would love to hear from you guys if you guys have resumes and just need help on your resumes. I'll have an email address here after this, but please scan with your phone the QR code or copy the link down here. Just let me know how I'm doing. And you can always get in touch with me, Tamara, if you move on to the next slide. I don't know if they copy that. Yeah. Thank you. And then william.eason@wrksolutions.com. You can email me. If you have resume questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Or if you have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to assist you. All right. Any questions, you guys, before I leave you guys with the other professionals?
And if you'll put your questions in the chat so we can answer, that would be great.
Yes. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. When are design heavy resumes okay? When you say design heavy, what do you mean by that? Oh, CV types. Well, CV, that's more so in other countries. Um, I don't believe here in America we use a CV. Your CV is going to have your whole history on there. Remember what I said? Hey, and just coming down Front Street, we live in America. We move fast. Okay, so if I'm picking up your resume, I need to be able to read that thing in 15 seconds tops. If I can't read it in 15 seconds, then I'm not going to probably spend my time trying to read your resume because I have many other things to do. Okay. So I believe a CV is okay in other countries, but here we have to we have to move quickly and we have to move efficiently. So um, some recruiters, man, no gaps. Yeah, good. Yeah. Right. So what about resumes that are not in black and white? Um, that's fine. You don't. The number one thing, you don't want to lie. You don't want to lie on your resume. So if you do have gaps, then the best. Are you saying with color graphs? Oh no, just regular. Your resume just straight up black and white. It doesn't need to be. I'm not going to be so much impressed with your designs on there. I'm going to be impressed on what you're telling me you know how to do and how you can help me. So just a black and white resume. I don't need to see anything fancy. But if you're handing your resume to me, then one suggestion I would make for you to do is hand it to me on a thicker piece of paper, on a quality piece of paper. You can find that at Office Max, Office Depot, wherever you want to go. But that would make a difference. But as far as designs on a resume, no, that's not going to be so much impressive to me. But I just need to see, how are you going to benefit this business? Okay. Any other questions for me?
Right. If we have any more questions, we can definitely take a look at the chat or also reach out to William at his email provided.
Yes, please.
We will be sending out information after the presentation as well with everyone's information and contact information.
Thank you so much, Samara. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll move on to our next presenter. So we have Miss Tracy Simmons, and she is with us from Dress for Success Houston. So she is the outreach coordinator and works with 150 plus partner organizations to provide professional attire, development tools, and a network of support for job-ready women in the greater Houston area. She has 25 plus years of human resource experience from places like Pepsi, IBM, and GE. So thank you so much for being here today, Tracy.
Great, thanks for having me. Today we're going to cover the 60-second elevator speech, and basically what Tamara gave you was a little bit of mine. So just trying to model what we're going to teach And then I'm going to share with you what services Dress for Success has that you might be able to avail yourself to. So next slide. So what is an elevator speech? It's just a quick summary of your background and experience. And the reason it's called an elevator speech is that it should be short enough to present during a brief elevator ride. Okay. And then our learning objective today, the goal in our 15 minutes together is to help you create an elevator speech that can be used in a number of ways. But most importantly, it answers that question that many people ask you, tell me about yourself. So we want to prepare you so that you're not stumped if you are reaching out to someone and asking a question and then they come back with, well, tell me about yourself. You're going to be so well practiced. This is going to come almost as a habit. You're going to be able to practice this with your friends in front of a mirror. You're going to record yourself so that you're thoroughly prepared. Next slide. So what is an elevator speech? It's a brief overview of you as a well-rounded person. And here's the things you're going to include in the elevator speech. Where are you now in your life? From work experience, academically, volunteer activities, those things all count. And I know a lot of times people say, well, I volunteer here and that's kind of a whole different facet of my life. But many of the skills that you gain from volunteering or being out in the community can really translate into a job. What makes you stand out? Do you have awards or leadership roles? Many people forget to include they've managed people or processes at some point in their career or even during school. So those are the things you'll want to highlight. And what are you looking for? Are you looking for a job, an internship, entrance into a college or trade school, or an opportunity? So always remember, what is your ask? What are you hoping for? And what makes you uniquely qualified for the role? Is it working with kids? And if so, then you would show that I have babysitting or coaching experience with a certain age group so that you can make yourself distinctive if that's a particular job you're going for. You always want to keep these things positive. You want to practice. And as I said, record yourself. You guys all have smartphones, I'm sure. Record yourself. What's great about that, you get an opportunity to see what the other person is seeing in you. And you also can time it. So then you know, is this 30 seconds? Am I going on for 2 minutes? Going on too long is the same thing as having too long of a resume. People capture information pretty quickly and they don't want somebody going on for 2 minutes for an answer. That's just too long of an answer. Okay. And then next slide. When do I say my elevator speech? That could be used at a career or job fair, getting more information from somebody, and also meeting someone new, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, neighbor, or friend. Also, maybe it's someone who does a web series that you'd like to get more information from, like our panelists today. So if you were to ask me, hey, Tracy, I want to find out more about, my job search, I would say, well, tell me about yourself. And I'd want you to be well practiced in that. So that's the point of today. Next slide. What do I say in my elevator speech? Your name, your brief work background, your skills and experience, and most importantly, you want to make the connection. Why are you interested? Why are you interested in this role? Most importantly, ask, why am I talking to this person? Is this person a hiring manager? Is this person going to help me get more information to get a job in that particular area? Are they giving me information about a particular finance area that I'm interested in? For a job, a role, or information. So be very clear and specific about what you're asking. People really do want to help, but if you ask a very broad question, it's hard for them to answer it. Whereas if you gave me a specific question to say something like, what's it like working at Dress for Success Houston? Or what services does Dress for Success Houston have? Or do you have any jobs at Dress for Success Houston? If you ask me those specific questions, I can better answer those. And again, being clear about what you're asking takes practice. And then make sure you close out with a thank you, thanking the person for taking the time to meet with you, thanking them for answering your email question, thank them for taking your call, whatever that may be. You always want to close out in a positive way that's going to say, I want to remember that person. Okay, next slide. Okay, now we're going to get a chance to practice this from a standpoint of, what is thoroughly in your elevator speech. And you guys can write this down, right? My name is, and I'm currently doing what, right? I'm currently working. I'm currently getting my degree. I'm currently doing some online courses that are interesting to me. And here are my qualifications. And what am I looking for? So I put together one just to practice. And here's an example of a 30-second elevator speech. It doesn't have to be 60 seconds. It really depends on how much experience you have and who you're talking to. So my name is Tracy Simmons, and I'm currently looking for a job in customer service because I've provided excellent customer service for over 5 years. I have 2 years babysitting experience with children ages 2 to 10 and 2 years at Whataburger, moving from cashier to server to shift manager. My supervisor at Whataburger says she gives me the more difficult customers because I have a calm demeanor and I solve problems quickly. I look forward to learning more about your role as a customer service rep. So those are the practice things that you want to do. Much like a resume, as William talked about, of having bullet points, you'll want to have bullet points for your elevator speech as well. You'll have a bullet point for how many years of experience you have. You want to have a bullet point of what skills you bring to the table. A lot of times what I like to do is think through, if you've had a job or worked for somebody, what great things did they say about you? Those are the things that you'd want to be able to say. Much like in my example, I said, hey, my supervisor said, they give me the difficult customers because I'm calm and I solve problems quickly. Those are two things that are going to be key in customer service. Much like if you were going for a finance role, you might use things like, I'm accurate and timely. So you always want to read those job descriptions of jobs that you might be going for and parrot back that same language that they're using. So if they're using things like great customer service experience, calm with the customer, handles difficult situations, parrot that back and be able to say, I've done this before, here's where I've done it, and here's how I've done it. Okay, next slide. All right, as you're practicing your elevator speech, you're always going to want to be improving it. You're going to be thinking about ways to improve it. I know for myself, my biggest issue is I talk fast when I get nervous, as most people do, or in a crowd of people I don't know. It's really okay to take that breath. And you'll know if you film yourself, if you record yourself, you'll be able to see in certain areas where you relax and say, I was calm doing that one. Or, wow, I sped through that. A person couldn't understand it. So you really want to speak slowly, speak up, and be confident. Limit those filler words of and kind of and honestly. And that's really important because that throws an interviewer or a person off when they're trying to follow you and you're just stumbling. I interview for a living. When someone comes in well practiced, they know my company well and they know the job well. What that does for me is that lets me know that my job matters to you, and therefore, you're going to matter to me. I'm going to give you the time of day. I'm going to really listen to what you have to say. Okay. Watch the excessive hand gestures. That's my biggest one too. I hate to say a regional experience, but I'm from New York originally, so I speak fast, I speak with my hands. Those are the things that are fixable. When you're filming yourself, if you see yourself waving around, you can just put, I sit on my hands sometimes when I'm in a meeting, or you can just hold your hands together as you're speaking. Many times you're going to be doing virtual interviews. So there are tricks to that as well. You know, good lighting in your room, making sure your background is clean. You don't want anything distracting, again, from what you're saying. And the more you practice, the smoother your delivery will come. Okay. So we want you to keep practicing. We want you to definitely video yourself. If it's going to be a virtual interview, practice with a friend. Send them, you know, your free, if you have Teams or if you're on Zoom or FaceTime, whatever technology you use, make sure that you practice it with a friend, and a friend will give you good advice of, hey, you went too fast, or I didn't understand what you were saying. Okay, next slide. Okay, so Dress for Success Houston works only with women, and Career Gear works only with men. So I'm going to talk about professional dress just for a short period of time, as I know Erin's going to be speaking about that as well. But all of these tips work for both men and women. Definitely know what you're dressing for, right? Know who you're going to be meeting with. And my biggest advice for you is try on the clothes the night before to ensure that they're clean and neat and fit well. And most importantly, that you feel comfortable and confident in the clothes you're wearing. When you're wearing something that doesn't feel right for you, it shows. So again, making sure you try it on and everything fits well and you're ready to go. That way you're not rushing or putting it on the morning of the interview and go, oh my goodness, I have a coffee stain on that. I've got to change out the shirt. We don't want you rushing. We want you, again, well practiced, dressed for success, and ready to go. You also make sure it's clean and neat and it does not distract. I'll give you an example of distraction. I used to be a college recruiter. I went up to a college and had 10 interviews in a row with a break for lunch. And all I can tell you, it was the afternoon, and a woman came in to interview, and she had earrings on, and every time she moved, it was a ringing bell sound. And I can't remember her name. I can't remember what she told me during our, 25-minute interview, but I can tell you what I remember is the ringing of the bells. So again, you want to make sure that you're clean and neat. Nothing is distracting from what you're saying. You want the interviewer or the hiring manager or whoever you're talking to really be listening to what you're saying. And so the clothes are really about being clean, neat, and dressed for the part. And then you've practiced your elevator speech, or you know your resume inside and out, and you're ready for those questions of the interviewer. Okay, next slide, please. So these are some of the professional dress options that we provide at Dress for Success if you're coming in for an interview. So if you have interview suiting, we give you a full interview suit, and all of our services are at no cost to you. So you get to choose and say, I'm comfortable in a pantsuit in this area, or I like to wear a skirt with a jacket, or I'm comfortable with a dress and a blazer. And we always want to finish it out with the shoes. You typically match the handbag. We provide pearls and pearl earrings to finish off the look. What's great for that is, especially for a virtual interview, finishing off and making sure you're clean, neat, ready to go. That's professional dressing. Okay, next slide. So Dress for Success provides all of these different services at no cost to you for women, job-ready women that are 18 years and older in the greater Houston area. So if you're coming in and you're just thinking about job searching, we can help you. We can help you build your resume. We can help you do interview skills. We have mock interviews. We teach you how to make a LinkedIn account, and we have a networking group. So we have a whole job search group. We're not an employment agency, but we do have a job bank. Because we have 150 partners, they sometimes post jobs with us that we share with our job search group. If you're ready for that interview or career fair, we will provide interview suiting for that. So you would get a full interview suit, handbag, purse, scarf. We also provide interview skills training for that attire. If you've landed a job, we suit you for that employment. So if you're in the healthcare industry and you need scrubs, we can provide that. If you're a frontline worker, we have uniform pants and polo shirts. So if you're working at Kroger or HEB, we have that type of clothing to fit your job. If you're in an office setting and need something a little bit more business casual, we teach you how to dress business casually for that particular job. We also have a specialized veteran program. So if you are a female veteran, we help make the transition from your military life to civilian life. Many times your resume is very military oriented, which doesn't translate. Many times a corporation won't understand the terminology on your resume. We help make that translation for you so that you can have a great resume of all your military experience and how that translates into civilian life. And then the best part of our program, I love our suiting, I love our job education, but also once you land a job, you're invited to join our professional women's group. And that's where a lot of our resources unlock. We have webinars on anything from career development, time management, conflict resolution. If you want to learn how to do Excel or PowerPoint better, we have all of those for free. We also have health and wellness. We know that lots of people have been struggling with the stress levels around, being locked in because of COVID. So we have healthcare professionals on, we have a Zumba instructor come on, we have yoga. And we also provide scholarships after you've been working and active in our professional women's group for 6 months. You can apply for a scholarship for both you and if you have children, children that need scholarships. And we also provide mentoring. So those are the great skill sets that the services that Dress for Success Houston provides. Next slide. So as I said, there's 3 pathways into Dress for Success. Our job search is when you're just looking for a job and need help with your resume and interview, we do that. We also have suiting for both for interview and employment suiting, and we also have special veterans programs. So there are 3 different distinct programs to come into Dress for Success. Next slide. So what I want you to do is anyone on this webinar today that meets these qualifications, that identifies as female and are 18 years or older and has a working phone number and email, you qualify for our suiting program. So what I want you to do is definitely take a screenshot of this particular page and email me. And in the subject line, put City of Houston webinar. Then I know that you've attended and we can start with interview suiting for you. So you would receive suiting and you would receive interview skills training, and then you would be part of Dress for Success, and we will help you along in your career journey. Thank you so much today. And does anybody have any questions for me? And you can put them in the chat. I think that's the best way for us to do it. All right. Well, if there's no questions, thank you so much for having me today. And again, if you meet that criteria, if you identify as female, you're 18 years or older and have a working email or phone number, please reach out to me at tracy@dfshouston.org. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Tracy. That was great. And again, I will be sending out everyone's contact information in like a follow-up email after the webinar is done. So just remember, if you have questions, to put them in the chat and we'll get to them after the presentation. So we're going to go on to our final presenter. So we have Aaron Hilker here with Career Gear Houston. Aaron is a program coordinator with Career Gear, and he recently joined the ranks and keeps the mission close to his heart as he is a son of a retired U.S. Navy SEAL. He's excited to build relationships with people and looks forward to working alongside clients. So thank you so much for being here, Aaron. Go ahead and give you the reins now.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you, Tamara, for the introduction. My name is Aaron Hilker. I'm the program coordinator for Career Gear Houston. Before that, the irony is I really came into Career Gear Houston as one of the people that they serve. I lost my job at the beginning of COVID. I was managing a staffing company, People Ready Skilled Trades. I've been in management and leadership essentially my entire adult life. I went straight to work out of high school, and you know, I saw some success and was doing well, but it wasn't really fulfilling. And so I transitioned to the nonprofit industry. I really wanted to give back to my community and help those who need it most. And I was lucky to find Career Gear. Career Gear was lucky to find me, and together it's a beautiful relationship because I get to do stuff like this. I get to help people. And yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm glad to be here. All right, let's get started. So Career Gear Houston is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we specialize in helping men get ready for their career. So we really break it down into 3 categories. We help veterans, possible. Our ex-offender program is RISE, and our at-risk youth program is Well Suited. We get referred these people through different agencies, and when they come in, we give them professional dress attire, either for the interview or similar to Dress for Success. We'll also do a gear up, which is once you land the job, we'll give you a week's worth of clothing tailored specifically towards that job, just exactly the same way Dress for Success does. In addition to providing the professional dress attire, we do resume writing courses, and we also do soft skill and interview coaching. A lot of that content I'll be covering today. This is just going to be kind of a brief overview. Our in-person classes generally run for about 6 hours. So there's a lot of content there, but I'm going to give you guys about 15 minutes of the juicy stuff, and hopefully it'll help you guys and anybody that is interested in working with us in a bigger way or coming into the program. I'll have all of our information and registration processes available at the end of the slide. All right, so you can click next, Tamara. So before the interview, so we're going to break this presentation down into 3 sections. I'm going to cover what you should do before the interview, what you should do during the interview, and what you should do after the interview. So before the interview is just as important as what you do during and after, if not more so. So to start things off, if at all possible, you're going to want to try and secure a black leather portfolio similar to this one. This is going to increase your professionalism in front of the hiring manager by a significant margin. It's also going to give you an opportunity in a way to secure your resumes and your thank you cards before the interview without them getting wrinkled. I've interviewed hundreds of people in my previous positions, and I can tell you that when you come in with a resume for me and it's folded up or crinkled or anything like that, it's just not a good look. So any opportunity we can use to keep those resumes looking fresh and clean and flat, we want to capitalize on it. For your resume, you want to have 3 copies, right? Usually when you go into an interview, you're going to be interviewed by at least 2 people. So you want one for the 2 people interviewing you and one for yourself, so that you have, you know, your resume in front of you and you can literally walk through with them exactly what they're reading and looking at. Number 2, you want to have some blank thank you cards in your portfolio, right? The reason you want to have blank thank you cards is so you can personally make them out to the people who interviewed you after the interview and drop them off on your way out, right? So if at all possible, once you finish the interview, thank them for their time, thank them for their opportunity to exit the room, fill out the thank you card, drop it off with the front desk, the receptionist, whoever is out there that you can leave it with, and continue moving on. Number 3, professional attire is key, right? So we like to tell people you're never going to get points taken off for being the best dressed person in the room. When it comes to masculine clothing for an interview, we want to stick with the classics, something navy blue. Black is generally considered more formal. So if you have a navy blue suit, a white shirt, some brown shoes, a brown belt, that's going to be optimal, and that's going to be really conservative. And when we talk about being conservative, not trying to be flashy, not trying to do too much. That's really what we mean. And if at the end of this, if you don't have one of those blue suits or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to get you taken care of. Number 4, this is probably one of the most influential factors that you can do before the interview, and that's researching the company, right? So oftentimes when you research a company, they're going to have an About Us page on their website. This is a great opportunity to identify the values of the company, right? If I can identify the values of the company I'm going to interview for, I can make sure that my values align with them, and that's gonna translate really well to the hiring manager, right? So if the values of the company are consistency, honesty, and integrity, boom, there you go. I'm gonna find a way to work those keywords, those values into the interview while I'm there, right? Additionally, this is gonna help you form questions that you can ask during the interview about the company. This is a great opportunity to show the hiring manager that you're interviewing with you took the time out of your day to research the company and that you take this opportunity seriously. Number 5, practice in the mirror the night before. And this is especially critical for the introverts in the room right now. So I know for me personally, it's not very difficult for me to establish new relationships. I don't really have any issues talking with strangers or public speaking. But for a lot of people, that is an issue. And your preparation is going to determine your success. So putting in that practice, look in the mirror and make sure you maintain eye contact with yourself while you're answering your questions or answering the practice questions. We have on our website the top 10 most asked interview questions. And essentially, I've been asked one of those questions in almost every interview. This is a great opportunity to go through, have an answer ready for those questions, and practice delivering and executing that answer in the mirror, right? Make sure you maintain a good smile, eye contact, all that good stuff. And finally, before the interview, make sure you get some good rest. You don't want to walk into an interview with bags under your eyes or feeling like you're slowed down or super tired. It's just going to throw you off your confidence. It's going to lower your energy. And you want to come in with high energy because you want to seem like you're excited about the opportunity. So make sure you get good sleep. All right, next. During the interview. So during the interview, this is game time, right? So you're in there. This is the opportunity. From top to bottom, let's start with maintaining professionalism. Sometimes, depending on the industry that you're interviewing in, the interviewer may get comfortable with you and start speaking a little casually, right? They may drop a curse word here or there. Don't fall for the bait. Don't get too comfortable. Maintain your professionalism and act as if you are dealing with a customer at a place you work with. You don't want to curse. You don't want to speak flippantly. You want to be professional. You want to take it serious. You want to maintain good body posture, head back, shoulders back, squared, all that good stuff, right? Make eye contact. This is probably the single most critical piece of the interview, because if you can't look me in the eyes while you're telling me about all your experiences, your skills, and that stuff, inherently it's going to start making me feel like you may be being dishonest, or you may not be comfortable with what exactly you're saying to me. Excuse me. So eye contact is imperative. It's going to establish a level of trust and a level of honesty with you and the interviewer. Number 3, take notes. This is also critical, right? This provides you a couple opportunities, especially when it gets to the point where they're starting to ask you kind of complex questions. Something that happens a lot of times with people who are in interviews is they're nervous, which is understandable. But when they try and answer a complex question, they can easily get off the rails and start to ramble. Taking a minute to take a breath. You don't necessarily need to write out the question, but you can write out your answer, right? So while you're thinking about your answer to the question, write down a couple notes. That way you keep yourself on track. It's going to show the hiring manager that you're invested in this, that you're taking your time, and you're considering your answers carefully. Number 4, take a pause when needed. Try to avoid those filler words, like, and, all that kind of stuff. When you're thinking of your answer and how you want to articulate it, is just filler noise. And it's better to just take a moment, pause, and think for a second. You know, it could, and sometimes it'll feel like an eternity. Oftentimes it's just a couple of seconds. So try your best to avoid those, like I covered before, and just take a minute, take a breath, look at your notes, and keep it moving. Keep it concise, keep it to the point. Number 5, ask questions. Ask questions. This is so important. It shows me that you're invested in this opportunity. It shows me that you take this seriously, but that you also have other options, right? So if you're asking me questions about the company, what kind of growth path is going to be available for me? How does your health insurance, how are your benefits? Do you enjoy like working here? What do you like most about working here? All these things show me that you're taking this very seriously. And if I don't answer these questions correctly, or the company's not a good fit for you, you have other options elsewhere, right? Even if you're in a desperate situation and this is the best opportunity you're going to have, asking those questions and not rushing into answering and then, okay, I'm done, is going to be a good look regardless, right? And then finally, make sure you stand up. I know with the COVID world, shaking hands is kind of fallen off, and we're in that weird place where you don't know if you should or if it's appropriate. So the best advice I can give you is to simply ask, right? When you walk in, kind of follow their lead. If you're not comfortable shaking hands, make it known immediately. However, if you are comfortable and you want to go that route, if they put it out there, engage. If they don't, ask them at the end if that's okay, and make sure you shake their hand, match their grip, and look them in the eyes to thank them for their time and the opportunity. All right, next. After the interview. So like we covered earlier, you want to drop off that thank you card. That is critical. It just sets you apart in such a big way. Most people do not do that. Almost nobody does that in my experience. So those that do, it goes a long way and it means a lot. After or aside from the thank you card, you're going to want to follow up. So generally speaking, we like to advise about 3 days after the interview, reaching out, thanking them again for their time, and inquiring about the job selection and if they've made a decision. Now, this is going to be a critical moment, and a lot of people, if they get the no, we moved on or we went another direction, it stops there. As hard as it is to not take something like that personal, you can't. You need to use this as another opportunity. So just because you got the no and didn't get a yes doesn't mean that that's where it ends. This is a networking opportunity. Oftentimes, hiring managers are going to run in similar circles with other hiring managers. So if you do get told no, you didn't get the job, this is the time to ask, can you give me any feedback as to why? Was it something about my interview? Was it a gap in my experience? And outside of that, do you have any other opportunities that you're aware of that I might be a good fit for, whether with another company or within the same company, just doing a different role? Don't drop the ball there. Don't let it go. Try and get as much out of this engagement and this relationship that you can, right? Hiring managers know and talk to other hiring managers. It's just the way it is. We all network through LinkedIn. We all communicate. We go to these job fairs together. Oftentimes, they're going to know about another opportunity that you otherwise may not have found out about. All right, next. So connect with Career Gear. The QR code there will take you directly to our Master the Interview page. And this is where our career coaches kind of sit down and they go and discuss different topics. Right now we're formatting, putting in the top 10 most asked interview questions and the best possible answers to those interview questions. But there's a ton of content on there for you to look at, plenty to research. Additionally, if you feel like you need to utilize or you want to utilize Career Gear services, you can most definitely go to our website. You can shoot me an email. It's located there. Or you can just call up here and talk to us about it. Usually we see people through referrals, whether it be through Combined Arms, the Texas Workforce Commission, things like that. But if you fall into one of those categories, you're either a veteran, you're an ex-offender, or you're an at-risk youth, just give us a call. We'll figure it out and we'll get you the help you need. I appreciate everybody's time today. I hope that information was impactful and it will help you. And let me see if we got any questions. Do tie colors affect the interview? Absolutely. So when it comes to tie colors, the best advice I can give you is keep it simple and try not to be too loud, right? Just like the woman from Dress for Success, I'm sorry, Tracy, I forgot your name for a second. Just like Tracy was saying earlier with the earrings, if you're too loud, if you're too flamboyant, if you're too just out there, it's going to just distract from what you're bringing to the table professionally. When it comes to tie colors, usually I try and strike a balance that a color match between the shirt and the jacket. So if I was wearing like a navy blue jacket, almost 100% guaranteed my tie is going to be primarily navy blue, and then the secondary color will match the interior shirt. Hopefully that answered that question. So keep it simple. You know, try not to have something like a crazy Christmas tie or something like that. You want your socks to match your trousers. You want your tie to match your jacket. Any other questions? Give everybody a minute to type in if they got anything.
All right. I don't have any more questions, Erin. So thank you so much. Again, we'll be emailing out everyone's information after the webinar. So that concludes our webinar today. We definitely want to thank everyone for being on. Special thanks to our presenters, William with Workforce Solutions, Tracy with Dress for Success Houston, and Erin with Career Gear Houston. Thank you so much for being on. Definitely, if you'd like to keep up with the City Houston Office of Business Opportunity, feel free to follow any of our social channels that are listed. This recording will be on our YouTube channel and make its way to our website as well. And if you're interested, we have 3 more webinars that are going to be happening every Tuesday for the next 3 weeks. And the next one is going to be a spotlight on the hospitality sector. So we will have presenters from the JW Marriott Houston, OTG Concessions with the airport, and with University of Houston Hilton College of Hospitality Management. So there's a lot of others happening as well. The third one is going to be on budgeting. So we're going to have the Houston Financial Empowerment Network that's going to come and talk about budgeting your paycheck, as well as Houston Metro to talk about transportation's options getting to and from work. And then our final session is going to be on trades and certification programs that will highlight SIR Jobs and Work Texas that both provide certification and training programs, as well as wraparound services, all free of charge. So I hope that you'll join us for one of our future webinars, but thank you so much for being here today, and definitely be looking at your email. I will be sending out all of our presenters' information. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys again.